Did you know that there is a unique and transformative energy that flows through those born under the sign of Aquarius? What if I told you that there are 10 specific practices that can completely revolutionize the lives of those who carry this Aquarian essence? If you are an Aquarius or know someone who is, this video will reveal powerful secrets that can unlock the full potential of this revolutionary energy. Aquarius is known as the sign of innovation, freedom, and transformation. But often, this energy is blocked by patterns that no longer serve us, by fears, or by not knowing how to properly channel this unique force. What you are about to discover are 10 mystical and spiritual practices that will awaken the true Aquarian power within you. Imagine being able to access all this transformative energy consciously and purposefully. Imagine seeing your life changing in an almost magical way with more freedom, creativity, and purpose. This is not fantasy. It is what happens when we align our essence with the right practices. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll discover something few Aquarians know about themselves, a secret that can change everything in your spiritual and personal journey. First practice, connect with your inner rebellious nature. The first thing every Aquarian needs to do to transform their life is to fully embrace their rebellious nature. I'm not talking about destructive rebellion, but rather that revolutionary energy that questions, that innovates, that doesn't accept the status quo simply because it's always been that way. This is the purest essence of the Aquarius sign. And when you stop fighting it and start consciously channeling it, your life begins to change dramatically. Many Aquarians spend years trying to fit into molds that weren't made for them. They try to be conventional, follow rigid rules, accept limitations imposed by others. But this is like trying to fit a river into a small box. The water will overflow, it will find a way out, because that's its nature. It's no different for you. Your Aquarian energy needs space to flow, to innovate, to create paths that don't yet exist. When you consciously embrace this rebellious nature, you stop wasting energy fighting yourself and start using it to create positive change. You question old patterns in your life, relationships that no longer make sense, jobs that stifle your creativity, limiting beliefs planted by others. This is the first major transformation. Stop trying to be someone you're not and start being authentically you. The daily practice here is simple but powerful. Every day ask yourself, where am I limiting myself out of fear of what others will think? Where am I following rules that don't make sense to me? Where can I innovate, create something new, do something different? When you ask these questions daily and act on the answers, you activate this rebellious energy constructively. Your life begins to reflect your true essence, and this attracts opportunities, people, and situations that align with who you truly are. Second practice, cultivate your vision of the future. The second transformative practice for Aquarians is developing and nurturing a clear vision of the future. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of innovation and futuristic vision. This means you have a natural ability to see possibilities that others can't yet see. But this vision often gets clouded, lost amidst everyday worries or fears about what might go wrong. When you consciously cultivate your vision of the future, you activate one of your sign's greatest strengths. I'm not just talking about planning what you'll do tomorrow or next week. I'm talking about visualizing a future that inspires you, that excites you, that makes your eyes sparkle with possibility. Aquarians who do this report almost magical changes in their lives because they begin to attract exactly what they visualize with clarity and emotion. The practice is to create a daily visualization ritual. Set aside at least 15 minutes every day to sit quietly and imagine your ideal life. Don't worry if it seems impossible in the present moment. Aquarius is the sign of the impossible becoming possible. Visualize in rich detail how you feel in this ideal life, where you are, who you're with, what kind of work you do, how you contribute to the world. The more detailed and emotional your visualization, the more powerful it becomes. What happens when you do this consistently is that your subconscious mind begins to work to make that vision a reality. You begin to notice opportunities that previously went unnoticed, make decisions that bring you closer to that vision, and attract people who can help you along the way. It's as if the universe is conspiring in your favor, but in reality, it's your own Aquarian energy working in an aligned and focused way. Third practice, free yourself from old emotional patterns. The third crucial transformation for Aquarians is learning to free themselves from emotional patterns that no longer serve them. Aquarius is an air sign, connected to the mental and spiritual, but often carries heavy emotional baggage that blocks their free and innovative nature. These patterns can be old fears, unprocessed traumas, or simply emotional habits that were helpful in the past, but now only limit them. Aquarian energy naturally seeks freedom and authenticity, but when trapped in repetitive emotional cycles, this search becomes an escape. Instead of true freedom, you end up creating emotional distance, coldness, or a constant feeling of restlessness. Breaking these patterns doesn't mean repressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means consciously processing them and choosing to respond differently. A powerful technique for Aquarians is what I call detached observation. When a strong emotion arises, instead of completely identifying with it or trying to run from it, you observe it as if you were a scientist studying an interesting phenomenon. You notice, oh, anger is here, or sadness has arrived, or fear is trying to control me. This observation creates a space between you and the emotion, allowing you to choose how to respond. Practice this daily. When you feel any intense emotion, stop for a moment and observe. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts accompany this emotion? What pattern is repeating? Then ask yourself, how can I respond in a new way, more aligned with who I am becoming? This practice gradually breaks automatic cycles and gives you back the power of choice over your emotional reactions. Before continuing, if you're enjoying these powerful transformations for Aquarians, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any content on spirituality and self-discovery. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from where in the world you're following these transformative practices. Fourth practice, develop your unique intuition. The fourth transformative practice is developing and trusting your Aquarian intuition, which has very specific and powerful characteristics. Unlike other signs, which may have more emotional or instinctive intuition, Aquarian intuition often comes in flashes of insight, revolutionary ideas that emerge out of nowhere, or a sudden understanding of complex patterns. It's as if you have a natural antenna for capturing information coming from higher dimensions. Many Aquarians ignore or distrust this intuition because it doesn't follow conventional logical patterns. But when you learn to recognize and trust it, it becomes one of your greatest tools for transformation. This Aquarian intuition often warns you of changes before they happen, shows you innovative solutions to complex problems, or guides you toward opportunities your rational mind would never consider. To develop this intuition, you need to create moments of mental silence in your routine. Aquarius is a very active mental sign, always processing information, making connections, and thinking about the future. But intuition needs quiet space to emerge. It doesn't have to be formal meditation if that doesn't work for you. It could be a silent walk, a few minutes observing the sky, or simply sitting quietly before bed. During these moments, pay attention to the thoughts that arise spontaneously, the ideas that seem to come out of nowhere, the sudden sensations of knowing something without knowing how. These are the seeds of your Aquarian intuition. Start jotting down these insights in a notebook or on your phone. Over time, you'll notice patterns and begin to trust this unique form of knowing more. When you honor and follow your Aquarian intuition, your life aligns with higher energetic flows, and synchronicities begin to occur much more frequently. Fifth practice, build conscious communities. The fifth essential transformation for Aquarians is learning to build and participate in conscious communities aligned with their values. Aquarius is naturally a social sign, but not in the superficial sense of simply being around people. You seek connections based on shared ideals, similar visions of the future, and purposes that transcend personal interests. When you find these communities, you flourish in extraordinary ways. The problem is that many Aquarians either isolate themselves completely, feeling like no one understands them, or connect with groups that don't truly nourish their soul. This creates a feeling of loneliness even when surrounded by people, or a dispersed energy when trying to please everyone. Transformation happens when you stop trying to fit into groups that don't resonate with your essence and start actively seeking out people who share your visions and values. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to find other Aquarians. It means finding people who value innovation, freedom, social awareness, spiritual growth, or whatever topics make your heart race. These could be spiritual study groups, online communities focused on topics that interest you, organizations that work for causes you believe in, or simply friends who support your personal growth. The practice here is to be more intentional about the connections you cultivate. Every week, make a conscious effort to connect with at least one person who inspires you or shares similar values. This could be a deep conversation, attending an event that interests you, or even engaging meaningfully on social media with content that resonates with you. When you invest energy in aligned connections, these relationships strengthen and begin to create a support network that empowers your growth and achievements. Sixth practice, honor your need for freedom. The sixth transformative practice is learning to deeply honor your need for freedom, not as escapism, but as fuel for your growth and contribution. Aquarius has a unique relationship with freedom. For you, it's not just a preference, it's almost a vital necessity like air or water. When this freedom is restricted for too long, Aquarian energy begins to stagnate, and you may feel depressed, irritable, or disconnected from your purpose. But here's the crucial point. Freedom for Aquarius doesn't mean an absence of commitments or responsibilities. It means having the autonomy to consciously choose how and where to invest your energy. It means being able to innovate within your commitments, having space to be authentic, and not feeling forced to follow rules that don't make sense to you. When you understand this, you can create freedom even within seemingly limiting structures. The practice is to take an honest look at the areas of your life where you feel trapped or limited: relationships, work, housing, daily routines, social engagements. For each area, ask yourself, where can I create more space for choice and authenticity? Where can I innovate or do things in a way that's more aligned with me? Sometimes the answer is a radical change. Sometimes it's simply a different approach to the same situation. The important thing is that you stop accepting unnecessary limitations due to fear, guilt, or social pressure. Your Aquarian energy needs space to breathe, create, and innovate. When you consciously honor this need, you'll not only be happier and more fulfilled, but you'll also become much more effective at what you do. Your creativity flows better, your ideas become clearer, and you attract situations that offer exactly the kind of freedom you need to thrive. Seventh practice, develop your social awareness. The seventh powerful transformation for Aquarians is to develop and express their social awareness actively and constructively. Aquarius is known as the humanitarian sign of the zodiac, with a natural concern for the collective well-being and evolution of humanity. But often this awareness remains only at a mental level, like nice ideals that don't translate into practical action. Transformation happens when you find concrete ways to contribute to the causes that truly matter to you. This contribution doesn't have to be grand or revolutionary from the start. It can start small, but it needs to be genuine and consistent. What matters is that you feel like you're using your Aquarian energy for something bigger than your immediate personal interests. This could be volunteer work, online activism, supporting specific causes, mentoring others, or simply spreading awareness about important issues through your conversations and personal example. When Aquarians connect with a social purpose that resonates deeply with them, something magical happens. They find an inexhaustible source of energy and motivation. Personal problems that once seemed immense suddenly come into perspective. The feeling of isolation or disconnection diminishes because there's a clear sense of belonging to something bigger. And interestingly, the more they focus on the collective good, the more their personal lives also align and thrive. The practice is to identify one or two causes that truly make your heart race and find a way, however small, to contribute regularly. It could be the environment, education, social justice, animal welfare, technological innovation for the common good, or any topic that sparks your passion. The important thing is to choose something where you can see the practical impact of your contribution, even if it's on a small scale. When you feel like you're making a difference, your Aquarian energy is energized and multiplied in surprising ways. 8th practice: cultivate your originality without fear. The 8th transformative practice is learning to cultivate and express your originality without fear of judgment or rejection. Aquarians are naturally original, but many live a diluted version of themselves for fear of being seen as strange, too different, or incomprehensible. This creates a constant internal tension between wanting to be authentic and wanting to be accepted, and this tension drains a lot of vital energy. The truth is that your originality is not an accident or a defect that needs to be corrected. It is a gift, a unique contribution you came to offer the world. When you try to hide or diminish this originality, not only do you become unhappy, but the world loses something valuable that only you can offer. People need models of authenticity. They need to see that it is possible to be different and thrive. They need new perspectives that only original minds can offer. Consciously cultivating your originality means stopping comparing yourself to others and starting to actively explore what makes you unique. What are your unusual perspectives on common topics? What unusual combinations of interests and talents do you possess? What creative solutions do you find to problems that others consider impossible? What is your unique way of seeing and interpreting the world around you? The daily practice is to do at least one thing a day that expresses your authenticity, even if it's small. It might be choosing an outfit that reflects your personality rather than one that's more socially safe. It might be expressing a genuine opinion in a conversation rather than simply agreeing. It might be exploring a hobby or interest that others find strange. It might be approaching a work problem in a completely new way. The important thing is that you stop hiding and start gradually revealing yourself, one authentic choice at a time. 9th practice: balance independence with intimacy. The 9th crucial transformation for Aquarians is learning to balance their natural need for independence with the ability to create genuine intimacy. This is one of the sign's greatest challenges, because you deeply value your freedom and autonomy, but you are also social beings who benefit enormously from deep and meaningful connections. The problem arises when these two aspects seem incompatible or contradictory. Many Aquarians oscillate between extremes. They either become excessively distant and independent, missing opportunities for real connection, or they engage superficially in too many relationships without ever allowing themselves to be truly known and loved. Neither extreme truly nourishes the Aquarian soul, which needs both freedom and deep understanding. Balance occurs when you understand that true intimacy is not imprisonment, and healthy independence is not isolation. You can maintain your autonomy and still allow yourself to be vulnerable with special people. You can have deep relationships without losing your identity or freedom of choice. The key is to clearly communicate your needs and find people who understand and respect your Aquarian nature. The practice is to be more mindful of how you relate to the important people in your life. When you feel like distancing yourself, ask yourself, is it because I need healthy space to recharge or because I'm afraid of intimacy? When you feel like getting closer to someone, ask yourself, am I doing this from a place of genuine choice or from need? Practice communicating your needs clearly and lovingly, explaining that needing space doesn't mean less love, and that valuing independence doesn't mean valuing connection less. Practice 10. Trust your unique timing. The 10th and final transformative practice is learning to completely trust your unique timing, especially when it seems out of sync with the world around you. Aquarius operates at a pace and timing that is often incomprehensible to other signs. You may be visionaries who see years ahead, or you may require longer incubation periods for your ideas and projects. You may experience sudden bursts of productivity, followed by periods of apparent inactivity that are actually periods of internal reorganization. Society pressures everyone to follow the same rhythm. Graduate at a certain age, get married at a certain time, have children within specific deadlines, follow a linear career progression. For Aquarians, trying to force yourself into this standard timing is a recipe for frustration and energetic blockages. Your natural timing has unique cycles that need to be respected for you to function at your peak capacity. Trusting your timing means stopping judging yourself for not being where others are at your age, or for not following the path that is considered normal or expected. It means recognizing that your periods of reflection and apparent inactivity are just as important as your periods of intense action. It means understanding that your ideas may take time to mature, but when they are ready, they have a far greater impact than rushed solutions. The final practice is developing a relationship of trust and patience with your own internal rhythms. When you feel like you should be doing more or moving faster, stop and ask yourself, does this pressure come from a genuine internal motivation or from comparison with others? When you feel resistance to starting something that logically makes sense, consider that perhaps it is not the right time energetically. Learn to distinguish between laziness and natural timing, between fear and wise intuition about when to act. These 10 practices are not just isolated tips. They are a complete path of transformation that can revolutionize the life of any Aquarian willing to implement them consistently and consciously. When you embrace your rebellious nature, cultivate your vision for the future, free yourself from limiting patterns, develop your unique intuition, build conscious communities, honor your need for freedom, express your social conscience, cultivate your originality, balance independence with intimacy, and trust your unique timing, you're not just improving isolated aspects of your life. You're activating the fullness of your Aquarian potential, aligning with the highest energy of your sign, and living according to your greater purpose in this life. And when this happens, the changes aren't small or gradual. They're profound and lasting transformations that affect every area of your existence. Relationships become more authentic and fulfilling. Work aligns with purpose. Creativity flows naturally. And you develop a solid sense of being in the right place, doing the right things, being exactly who you came to be in this life. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 practices resonates most deeply with your current journey? Which do you feel you need to implement first? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and turn on notifications to receive more transformative content about spirituality, self-discovery, and the power of the zodiac signs. Your Aquarian transformation starts now.